Hi, welcome to the Office Add-ins community call for September, everyone. Thanks for joining today. Good morning or good evening based off of your time zone. We have quite a few presenters on the docket today. My name is Preetika Karavidula. I'm a product manager here at Microsoft, and I'll be hosting the call. And for our topics on the agenda today, we'll be going over an update on changes to app entry points and dev sideloading. Also, writing assistance from the Word extensibility team. We'll also be going over security enhancements to callback tokens for Office add-ins. And lastly, we'll be going over the Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Addin Entrance has been removed from the Insert tab to the Home tab and File menu instead. Our presenters today will be Kate Everitt, who is a principal product manager here at Microsoft, Anna Pegan, who's a senior product manager at Microsoft, Yun Wang, who's a principal product manager at Microsoft, Akilesh Shah, who's a senior product manager at Microsoft, and Adrian Wu, who's also a senior product manager at Microsoft. Kate, did you want to take over and get started?
Yeah, all right, I'll get started. So I'm going to talk to you about an update based on the feedback that we got last month on changes to app entry point and dev sideloading. This applies to Outlook for Web and Outlook for Windows. So last month I came and talked to you about some updated changes to the entry points for where you load apps, launch apps, and get to the store, and then some potential impacts to the UI sideloading scenario. So let's go ahead to the next page, please. So just a quick recap for those that were not here last month. We are making changes to unify the experience across Teams and Outlook and Microsoft365.com so that you have a unified experience with all the apps, including Teams apps, add-ins. And what that means is that the existing UI experiences for the store and entry points are going to change a little bit. And let me just dig right into the meat of this. One of the changes that we had made had a side impact that the UI sideloading experience that you see here in the old add-in store was going to take 4 hours. And we received a lot of negative feedback that was going to impact scenarios. So I'll just say we're fixing it. So we're doing work to remove that 4-hour delay so that you're looking at minutes instead of hours for that UI sideloading. So the scenarios that we heard about were, of course, the developer sideload scenario, changing your environments around, working with client demos and support. And, what we're doing is essentially we're hooking this whole thing up to the new thing so that we don't have that delay. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you. Thank you for everybody coming to this call. Thank you for the feedback that we get. We're definitely listening and we want to hear from you and your partners in this. And we made the decision to do this pretty much right after last month's call because of some of the concerns that were raised in the call. So this is checked in, but is not yet deployed. So I'm in a couple of weeks, essentially, you should expect that if you do UI sideloading here, that it will be reflected in a few minutes. So this is going to be just kind of like a temporary problem as we go through. And the one thing, though, that I do want to let you know that is still the case is we've pretty much deprecated this experience in favor of the new store. So if you use this actively, I want you to be aware of how to find it now, because we've removed that entry point, that little orange plus from pretty much most places in the product now. So you have a couple of options. You can go to the aka.ms link, OLK sideload, Outlook sideload, and that will take you directly here. You can go to the link that points to, which is outlook.office.com mail in client store. If you don't have access or you forget that, if you go to the Windows backstage in the file menu, there's a manage add-ins button that will take you directly there. And we're leaving that in place. And then if you forget all of that, you can just search on Bing for sideloading, and there is an updated help documentation that will have this link and everything. So yeah, again, thank you. We're doing the work to we've done the work actually to make sure that this will be not a delay because we know how important it is to your flow. And yeah. So that's like my core message I wanted to share you, but I'm just gonna maybe go to the next slide and give people a little bit of background for anyone who was not here last week or last month about what the changes are from the UI side. So the main one is we've got a new apps icon. We call it the Belgian waffle. It's this blue one with a bunch of little squares, and that will take you to the flyout, which we intend to be a place to celebrate apps and add-ins, and to have, there's a search experience in the web and a bunch of things. And then the entry point for the store is actually below that on add apps. So instead of going to that orange plus icon, the entry point for the store is now down here. Currently pinned add-ins will be retained. We definitely don't want to change the user experience to move the cheese on people. Anything that's already pinned into the ribbon will be there, but new apps will be added to this flyout instead of being added directly to the ribbon. And then the customer will be able to choose to pin them to the ribbon or to unpin them. And then admin deployed apps will be auto-pinned so that the admin won't have to worry about, walking users through that pinning experience, that their stuff will be front and center. And then let's just flip forward to the next slide. So this is the new store. I showed you that picture of the old store and where the UI sideloading was. This is what the new store is. So this will take you to this is experience that you will go to if you go to add apps. And add-ins will be in here. It's search. This should look familiar. We're unifying it with the team store. So you should get that same experience. And the theory here is, of course, once people are comfortable and familiar with learning how to use things in all of our different products, that they'll be able to feel more comfortable getting apps from any product and get that kind of consistency of experience. I know particularly we have a lot of people on this call presenting. So maybe what I'll do is take questions in the chat and we can move on.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I see a couple questions that have come in, so we can go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Kate. That was great. So moving on to writing assistance for Word extensibility team. This is Yun and Anna. Would you like to take over control of the screen?
Yeah, of course. Thanks. Okay. So we've been in Word extensibility team. We've been working to open the on-canvas experience to third-party partners, and writing assistance is going to enable this to actually allow developers to use some of the on-canvas elements that are currently used by editor in Word. What will become available are the paragraph events and squiggle underline. The implementation is currently available in Insider's beta program, but production release is planned in the next API versions, so it will be available relatively soon. And the possible future items will be text highlight, on-canvas card, and right-click menu item. So just to kind of remind ourselves, what are squiggles, right? The squiggles, when you have your editor turned on, you can see the squiggles as the underline on canvas that is kind of marking the text, that has some suggestions for text edit, right? So it can be spelling, it can be grammar, or just text refinement of different sorts. This element was now available through API for third-party developers to use for whatever purpose they see fit within their add-in. Also, the paragraph events are there to kind of enable the squiggles to be dynamic, so that as the changes in the text are happening, whether the user is typing or just adding, deleting parts of the text in a paragraph, you can actually rearrange the squiggles to fit the changes that they're creating. So how does this look in the context of an add-in, right? So you have your add-in, you activate it, and the side pane opens. When the side pane opens, the squiggles that are coming from the add-in are shown on the canvas. We also created an option here for developers to choose whether or not they want to hide or keep the editor's squiggles on canvas as well while the edit is active. This is to kind of create the different possibilities for scenarios for functionality of these squiggles. For instance, if you have a scenario where your squiggles are used for same or similar purpose as the add-in, you would create a conflict unless you hide the add-in. And then again, if there is a different use for the squiggles, then maybe there's no actual conflict with the editor suggestions. I'm going to pause here for just a sec to see if there are any questions, because after this, I would go into the testing instructions. Okay, then continuing. So as I said, we're ready for the first iteration of testing. And as I mentioned, paragraph events API and annotation API are available. They're available in Insider's beta program. If you're not part of this program, you can, of course, join. It's available on desktop for both Windows and Mac. And we're, of course, working to enable it wider than this. The testing instructions. So you would need to check the build number, the version of the Word that you have. It needs to be greater than these two versions for Windows and Mac. If you're not part of the beta program, you should join. Here's the link, so you can actually join this program. And then just install the Script Lab add-in from Office Store. When you install this add-in, you will be able to open code in Script Lab tab and import the add-in code from GitHub, and you have a link here. So this will help you as sort of example. So you should be able to see this code inside the add-in and then run it by clicking on the icon on the Script Lab. And this sample is set up to use the beta version of Office.js and Office.js types. So you will be able to use IntelliSense while coding the add-in and access the descriptions of the methods. There are a couple of notes that we want you to kind of be aware of. First, just use paragraph text as input to your components that do detection suggestion. Then you will need to filter out some special characters from paragraph.txt as described here in this document. And you need to take to account for comments and footnotes and endnotes with special characters. And third one, there is tracked deleted text in the document. The paragraph insert annotation API will only work if you enable simple markup mode. And this is more or less it. We just wanted to invite you to our testing, and yeah, please share whatever you find within this. You can send the description of the issues with the listed steps to reproduce, screenshots, session ID. Yeah, this will really help us to kind of set this feature up and continue working on it. So thank you. If you have any questions, yeah, you can, I guess, again, take use of the chat. Oh, yeah, just not to forget, there's also documentation published for the word annotation class. You can have available in this on this link. So yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Anna. That was a great presentation. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to also leave them in the chat, and then we'll try to get them to them in this call. All right, Akilesh, are you ready to go over security enhancements to callback tokens for Office add-ins?
Sure, Pratika. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the security enhancements that we are making. I just want to update you what we are doing and like what's the good change going to be. So if you could move to the next slide, Pratika.
Hey, Jessica,
Yeah.
how are you?
So
Good.
right now, if you're building add-ins that use exchange resources.
I just was curious. Do you know if Sid made any changes to like?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so if you're using add-ins that use any of the exchange resources, things like, let's say, mailbox, calendar, as part of your add-in experience, you usually use callback tokens to authenticate your calls to access these exchange resources. You usually get these REST or EWS token via get callback token async API. And this method returns an opaque token that you can use to call back to the exchange servers to get access to the user's mailbox, right? So I've just linked the public documentation if you're not aware of it. But what I want to update is we are enhancing the security of these tokens. And as part of that, we'll be making some changes to the tokens that are issued as part of the get callback token async API, right? So we're expecting this change to happen sometime in the next quarter. And if you're using the tokens that are issued by this method as is to call back to the exchange, there should not be any impact for you. Like all the functionality that you're using should continue as is. However, if you're passing these tokens for any of your workflows, then you may be impacted by this. But that being said, our recommendation is not to pass the tokens issued by this method or any other tokens that are issued, because we will keep making changes as part of our security enhancement to these tokens. And if you're passing it, then some of the workflows on your side may be impacted, right? So our recommendation is to use these tokens as is and not pass them. So yeah, ideally, that's the message that I wanted to land, that we're going to make changes to these tokens in future. Yeah, so if you have any questions, maybe I can take it up in the chat, or the other way to reach out to us. If you have any questions, you can just send your questions in this form. If you're passing and you're facing some issues with those workflows, you can also reach out to us using this form, and we'll be happy to get back to you. Yeah, that's it from my side, Pratika. Maybe we can move on to the next one.
Great. Thanks, Akilesh.
Thank you.
Adrian, are you ready to go over Addin Entrance move from Insert tab to Home tab and File menu?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm Adrian Wu, and today we're going to share a. Oh, by the way, sorry. Please let me take control. Okay. So today we would like to share you with a thrilled information that about our latest change. So we have moved the entrance from the original Insert tab to the Home tab. So, and this is not only just one entrance that we have been moving to a more prominent place. Actually, we have also added another entrance in the file menu. So there will be a lot of discoverability to all the extensibility ecosystem, and not only to the higher discoverability, but also that this also shows our resolutions to try to build a very powerful third-party ecosystem with all of our partners. So here I would like to introduce some of the detailed design of the flyout. So if you look into the image, we have two different sections here. So first of all is the My Adding section. This is a section that designed for some users. They already had some adding installed. So it will be served as a quick launchpad so they can find their existing add-ins quickly. For those new users that they haven't touched any, like the concept of add-in, they can browse explore the new possibilities in the popular add-in sections, where the most popular add-ins will be displayed there. And yeah, so this is the current design that we have introduced. And except for the entrance location, there's another good news that we would like to highlight here is that we're also upgraded the experience and make them aligned with the whole suite. So as you can see, just as Kate have already shared, like the experience on Outlook, right now, if you look into the WXP, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, we will all share a similar adding experience. Start from icon, just as Kate has introduced the Belgian waffle. As you can see in the WXP, we also introduced a similar concept and similar icon. So in hope that users will can lower their cognitive load, so they don't have to learn the same concept again. If they have started using the extensibility, those apps, the add-ins on Teams or Outlook, if they get into the Word WXP, if they see the same icon, they will be easily to recall, oh, it's about extensibility. So this is the first thing that we're trying to align. And another thing is about user experience. So as you can see right now, for all of the suite, we also have the flyout where users can try to browse new solutions or launch their existing solutions. For this, we're trying to create a lower content switch scenario. So as you can see, like all of our third-party extensions, they're now being integrated into the ribbon in a very natural way. So it's just like a first-party solutions, and they're gathering together. So sometimes we will get some user feedback there. Will asking about where is my already installed add-ins, because like currently they might scatter on different places. Some of the developers, they choose to make their add-ins on Home tab and some in Insert, and some will have an independent tab. So here, by introducing the file, we want to gather everything together. So if you want to use some new third-party solutions, just go to the same place and you will get them. And we know there might be like few questions, so we actually have an article to list like all the more detailed information there. And if you have a cell phone on your hand, you can actually scan for the QR code, and you can get more detailed information. So here, I just want to make like a few highlights here. First of all, we know like some of our partners, they had a very detailed introduction for their users to say, hey, do you know how to install add-ins? You have to go to this, that, and but right now this might change a little bit since the entrance have changed. So first of all, we want to remind you, if you have a more detailed, separated introduction guide, and it's maybe a good time for you to try to make an update. And another thing is things like we're actually making the whole store, the whole ecosystem, more easily discoverable. So we actually expect there will be a lot of new users coming into the store and trying to explore some possibilities. So first of all, we think it will be very important for all of our solutions to have a better first-run experience, because there's a lot of new users they would like to try out. And a better first-run experience for each add-ins will also help users to understand the concept of extensibility easily. And another thing is that this is actually a share of the best practice. Things like a lot of users, they're just trying out. So it would be preferred if we have some like free functions, or we will adopt like freemium models. So this will be like more easily for those exploring users to start using, getting familiar with your solutions, and then we can see a chance to convert them into a paid user. And another thing is, it's kind of like our continuous focus is that it will be a better practice if we can keep updating our add-ins to meet a better quality, and also to focus on like how to make users provide positive reviews, and also to raise our retention rate. This will help us to, and also help users to find better solutions for them. And for this change, actually you can already see this change on most of the devices on Win32 and our web version right now. And for Mac, it's coming soon. Yeah, so that will be our key things we would like to share for today. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to leave on the message and we will reply them as fast as possible. Yeah, so giving back to Priscilla.
Great. Thanks, Adrian. That was a great demo. Let me take control. All right, moving on to the Q&A portion of this month's call. It was pretty short this month. We received this question about smart alerts for Outlook yesterday regarding that they were introduced a few months ago. And at the time, one of the slides says that smart alerts runs in JS Engine for Win32 and WebView for OA. We were finding that there are limitations when using the JSA Engine runtime. The same code works when using WebView for OA. Where can we find documentation on JS Engine features and limitations? I reached out to the respective folks that own this feature, have yet to hear back from them. So once I have an answer, I will either share in next month's community call or it'll be in the blog post. All right, and if you are new to Office add-ins or this is your first community call, thanks for joining today. Here are some links on how to learn more and how to get more involved in our community. There's a documentation link, quick starts, script lab, samples, how to join the Microsoft 365 developer program, and also a link to Office scripts. If you'd like to engage further with our team, feel free to ask any technical questions about Office add-ins at this aka.ms link or on Stack Overflow. For product bugs, please file them at this GitHub link right here under Office.js. Feature requests and ideas, you can always submit them at M365 developer suggestions. And if you'd like to send us a smile or frown on your experience, you could always head over to Inside Office. We also have a variety of calls across the team, so if you're interested in any of these other topics, you're always welcome to join those as well. They occur at a different cadence than ours. So if you're interested in that, we have a link to all calls and assets, and you can peruse through which ones might be most fitting for you. All right, thank you for joining, everybody. A recording will be available in approximately 72 hours on the Microsoft 365 Community PNP YouTube channel. And you're always welcome to follow us on Twitter for other informations about other features, our features. And our next call will be October 11th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks, everyone.